and welcome back to another episode of Kris Yeti's News Review. This is going to make it episode 14. I'm really excited about this, guys. I think it's getting a little bit better each time we go around, so let's just get right into it tonight. I got lots of beer. I hope you do as well. Let's do it! We got so much to talk about tonight. We got the royal family doing dumb things all over the media no one cares about, but yet they're all over the media anyways. We got websites using ridiculous clickbait titles that we just want to go after and crush and stomp beneath our feet because clickbait titles are ridiculous and I've had enough of it. That and of course, Kevin Durant in the NBA keeps getting injured. Is he the new Seth Curry with those glass ankles, but more like glass knees? This and more. Stay tuned. Kris Yeti's News Review. Alright, so we got a little bit something interesting today for the world news. It looks like England has decided to go ahead and ban one-use plastics across the board. I mean, we're talking about plastic forks, plastic knives, plastic plates, plastic mother-in-laws. There's so much plastic going around that countries are getting aggressive at banning this nonsense left and right. We got to get rid of it. I tell you what, because if we don't get rid of it, then apparently we're all gonna die by microplastics just overfilling the landfill so we can end up looking like something either out of WALL-E or Idiocracy. I'm not sure banning plastics is going to avoid us from landing here. I'll tell you what is more likely gonna get us to this point, and that is awful clickbait articles that just continue to drive for money. This is what clickbait leads to, okay? This isn't plastic. This is clickbait. And about 100 years from now, all the clickbait in the world is going to create all this trash. But now that England has banned one-use plastics, I guess they can go back to eating with their hands just as God intended. And of course, the great royal family. I'm sure that they are, they're like, what's plastic? Do you know what plastic is? No, I've never heard of this concept before. We have gold, we have silver, but silver is kind of We have gold. Gold forks, gold plates, gold napkins. Who needs plastic? But I'll tell you, one of the problems with England and other countries banning one-use plastics is they typically need some kind of replacement because there's just a huge demand for this product. We're trying to solve it with something, an alternative that doesn't quite match up to the predecessor. This, of course, is something like paper straws. Paper straws, I don't know if you've used them, guys, but it's awful. You put a straw in a drink and you drink it, and the next thing you know, after 5 minutes, you're drinking up paper pulp. I've just had enough of it. I switch out straws, I get another one. I go through 3 or 4 paper straws just to enjoy a single drink because it gets soaked up and it becomes useless. Besides that, if that was the only problem, I may be okay with it. But my biggest problem with paper straws, all right, hear me out, is the fact that they have to get paper from trees. They've somehow managed to make fake meat out of plants, but yet we can't seem to get fake paper out of something that's not a tree. So if England's choice to get rid of plastics is one thing, but if they want to replace it and substitute it with paper products, that's not going to work. Plastic straws are superior to paper straws, hands down. And I think that's the big problem. Yeah, forks, spoons, knives, they have their issue, but any one of them being paper, straws are the worst. Let's find a better solution. Well, otherwise, we're just going to ban and cancel ourselves all the way to Idiocracy. Tell me what you think in the comments below about disposable plastic. Do you agree or disagree that it is harmful for the environment? And if so, what would you propose to replace plastics? And don't say paper stuff, okay? Paper's not going to work. We're going to talk about Avatar 2, the new James Cameron creation. This guy is just going to live to the age of 150 and keep pumping out the most useless movies I've ever seen in my life. I'll give Avatar 1 a solid 50-50, okay? The plot was dry, it was boring, I couldn't get into it, but the visual spectacle, that was kind of hard to deny. There's more people talking about the quality of CGI and the colors and the beauty of the planet that they live on. What is it called? Pandora? It looks great, and I'm just kind of flabbergasted that there are so many people create these sub-communities that just glorify the world of Pandora because of its fictionalness. Because the fiction is better than reality. You have these bright, vivid colors, you have these wonderful characters that just aren't you, and quite frankly, we live in a time and an era where everybody wants to be somebody that they aren't. Ah, yes, the days when humans could only be who they were once, and only then. And now, you can be anything and everything you want, and argue all that you want that who you are is who you actually were in the first place, so therefore, you better watch Avatar 2. Avatar was a movie that really only needed one movie. It created a demonstration of technology, it created a demonstration of really excellent artwork. I mean, at the technical level. But then you get to the movie itself, and it's just like a 5 out of 10. It's nothing fantastic. Dances with Wolves was a way better film than Avatar. And it's like the same plot, just less blue. So everybody knew with the success of Avatar 1 that Avatar 2 was inevitable. We just didn't know it would come so many years after the fact where everybody completely forgot the plot line of the first one, which was probably a good thing because guess what? Avatar 2, they came back in and did the exact same plot. They just added new characters. Oh wait, no they didn't. They brought back the same old characters. Just call it The Water World. Oh wait, no, that was a different movie. The Way of the Water. Don't want to confuse all the movies about water with this one. It's kind of amazing how you have Avatar 2, The Way of the Water, and then you have the anime Avatar, and of course they have water as well. How can they not get in a fight of copyright? How can Avatar the cartoon and Avatar the movie not be in court for both the name and just constantly using the same terminology? I digress. My real beef with Avatar 2 is the bland plotline and simply bringing back old recycled characters that should have been dead and they just magically reappear. I mean, in Avatar 3, these guys are going to transform to like golden avatars or something and go super avatar. That would be a more interesting plot than whatever James Cameron is planning. In one of James Cameron's interviews, he actually sits down and says it's not really about the storyline. It's not really about where the plot is going. It's about being immersed in the moment and watching the film and appreciating all the pretty colors. To me, that's just not a movie I'm gonna go watch. I'm not gonna go sit in a movie theater where they dangle keys in front of me and say, "Are you entertained? Are you entertained?" James Cameron does what James Cameron does, and James Cameron will always do what James Cameron does, except for Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. Did you know that he already has 2 sequels declared after Avatar 2? This is nothing more than looking at a fancy screensaver for 4 hours that just looks really pretty. Why even invest this much time and money in this kind of concept? I'll do a full review maybe if you guys want me to, but let me know in the comments below what you thought of Avatar 2. Was it worth it? What did you enjoy about it? And what did you not like about it the most? In other movie news, did you see the article about our buddy Nicolas Cage? This guy, love him, first of all. Okay, he's come out with some pretty interesting movies lately. None as great as National Treasure, but Nick Cage is a national treasure, so whatever he produces is fantastic, even the bees. But recently he came out in a conversation and said that he doesn't really prefer Star Wars, he prefers Star Trek. He himself says that he is a Trekkie. Now you can give or take what that title means, but I actually like that Nick Cage wants to take a more philosophical approach to a fictional space series than something like Star Wars. I think Nick Cage might feel that Star Wars was appropriate back when Samuel L. Jackson did it, when, it was under George Lucas. And then by the time Disney ruined and butchered Star Wars, yes, you heard me right here and now, Disney ruined Star Wars. Tell me one thing in the comment below that they have added to Star Wars that has made it worthwhile. Anything. Out of every movie that Disney has pumped out in the past 3 days, all 6 movies that they've put out, and all 6 TV shows, what's been the good takeaway from this besides production technology, where they have these $10 million LED screens that are in place of green screen? That's the only thing that's improved with Star Wars is the production technology. George Lucas hates it so much he won't even say the word Star Wars anymore. But anyways, Nick Cage going to Star Trek? I don't think the movie will actually happen. I would watch it on opening night. Nick, I know you're gonna watch this news review. I'm telling you right now, Star Trek is a good move for you. And I definitely want to see you on it. Just don't have any bees on the spaceship. Or maybe it'll be like Family Guy, where he is a spoiled rich person that has to go back in time to learn his lesson, but ends up on a spaceship full of a crew that doesn't appreciate him. That sounds like a good plot line. Infinitely better than Avatar 2. A lot of complexity, drama, emotions. All right. We're gonna talk Now about sports. And this is the first time I'm going to mention NFL, the National Football League for the United States. And I'm just going to say it, Aaron Rodgers is the best non-winningest player. And that's only because Tom Brady has taken the lead for so long. If Tom Brady wasn't there, I bet Aaron Rodgers would be winning more than one championship that he did in 2011. But more importantly than how many championships Aaron Rodgers has won, let's take a look at his face. Did you know that this face is 39 years old? 39. This guy looks like he's 59 years old. What is going on that he has to look so aged in NFL? I mean, Tom Brady, on the other hand, looks 10 years younger than he is. Tom Brady looks younger than Aaron Rodgers, by far. Is there more to the NFL than simply just winning football? If you win more, do you age less quicker? This is a mystery that I think Neil deGrasse Tyson needs to help us out with. But nonetheless, this is the situation we're in. How much longer is Aaron Rodgers actually gonna keep throwing that old pigskin around for? Who do you prefer for the NFL? Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers? I have a hard time believing that it's anybody outside of these two. Tell me another football player that you like beyond Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. These guys are the cornerstone of the NFL popularity. And of course, I want to talk just a little bit about the NBA, give an update, because that is my sport. I love the NBA, and I love Kevin Durant. This guy is a phenomenal freak of nature who can shoot anywhere, just towers over everybody on the court. I mean, he just walks around and kind of just drops the ball in. He gives his A game and really makes it look like he's shooting the ball. However, when he pushes himself too far, he's so tall and so big, like that of Yao Ming, I can't believe he hasn't had complete foot disaster. He hasn't sustained the injuries of some of the big men and can shoot like Steph Curry. That's crazy. Anyways, here he is again. He got injured during his game with Miami Heat. He got an MRI and he sprained his knee. I'm not going to go as far as saying it's a glass knee. He does have some issues with his knee, but I would too if I was virtually 7 feet tall. Not only 7 feet tall, but you're moving and spinning and twisting, running around in levels of energy that just can't be matched by somebody 5'10". Kevin Durant is a freak of nature, and I love it. I love Kevin Durant. I would, in some cases, argue that he is the GOAT, but in most cases I wouldn't. But I still love you, Kevin. I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant is like Wolverine because the way that he healed from his last injury and then went back and performed the way that he did and scored the amount of points and continues to be a high-level player at the age that he's at is phenomenal. Everybody else in the NBA who had that same injury did not return to the same level that they were before the injury. I think he's maybe the first, if not the first of two, to actually sustain this level of injury on his ankles and his knees, and then be able to bounce back and do just as good as before, if not better. It's incredible. And I don't know if that's a Kevin Durant thing or if that's going to be just the way that medical technology improves NBA players moving forward. All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching this week's Kris Yeti's news review. We're going to be back for next week's news, so stay tuned. Until then, cheers and good night.